I just got back from another trip. When I come back from traveling, I like to see what needs to be released so that each time I come home, I have a fresh start after learning something through my travels. So I'm going to pull from the Lantern Oracle and just get a general message. If you feel called to stay, do. If not, feel free to scroll on. We got strength of vulnerability. True power lies at the root of a perceived weakness. Feelings of vulnerability arise when we are treated as if we are or we believe ourselves to be incapable of adequately protecting or providing for ourselves. It may be that we feel somewhat dependent or insecure in a relationship, profession, situation, or place. Our vulnerability presents us with the fears and the uncertainty we need to confront and overcome in our own personal development. Therefore, what frightens us can be used as a catalyst to discovering our inner resources and the capacity to self-empower and outgrow any perceived limitations. So if you look at your limitations or what you think that you cannot do, that's almost like a roadmap of what you need to conquer next. What am I afraid of? Why am I afraid of that? What's holding me back? And is that really true? Okay, let's get a story here. We're gonna ask for a story. Give us a story about the strength of vulnerability for this collective. Why? Ask yourself, why and what am I afraid of? I like that. Okay, let's keep the story going. All right, what's the next step? Milk and honey. What is your desire in this situation? And what's holding you back? Why are you holding yourself back? What is the fear? Okay, last part of the story. We asked for 3. Unfinished symphony. I feel like using the current moment of finding your milk and honey during the lesson, during whatever this is you're facing, and making sure you're being present and enjoying that part. And then once you feel that, don't forget to tie up the loose ends to that cycle, that you can experience your milk and honey and your wish fulfillment and the happiness and the joy all at the same time as closing out cycles. I look down at 333. I'm gonna get a tarot card for each of these cards just to clarify. We got 2 of Cups reversed for the first card. We've got 5 of Wands for milk and honey. Ooh. And we got 7 of Wands for unfinished symphony. Let me sit with these for a second. Okay, well, looking at the why with the 2 of Cups reversed, this is speaking about disharmony. To me, this feels internal. Where did you learn that part of you was flawed, or that specific part of you was flawed? Maybe you were labeled as too emotional, too sensitive, too intense, too independent. Where did you pick up this label? Who gave you this label? Is this in alignment with you? Is this true? Actually question it. Is this true, or is this something I just accepted? And with the 2 of Cups, it makes me think of relationships. Were you labeled this in a relationship where you were not safe feeling vulnerable? So, the first step is stepping into that vulnerability, looking it in the face and asking these questions. With the 5 of Wands underneath the milk and honey, this is talking about friction. This is the kind of feeling that might come through this type of work. This is shadow work, facing your fears. It may be really hard. And so what this is saying is, don't abandon your milk and honey as you do the shadow work. Make sure you're staying balanced. You can do the work and you can persevere through this, but make sure you're not punishing yourself. Make sure you're not being a perfectionist. Make sure you're not being hard on yourself. Make sure you're taking some time to experience something that makes you happy as you do this work. I also feel like your vulnerability becomes your strength as you stop fighting yourself, right? As you look at yourself through the eyes of someone very abundant, even seeing this weakness of yours as a gift. And with this unfinished symphony, it's like your work isn't done yet. Your work isn't ever done. When you're alive, there's always something to work on. There's always growth to be had. But with this 7 of Wands, this is your boundaries. It's so important as you do this type of work to keep your boundaries up and to protect yourself, because you're being vulnerable right now. This is a reminder that as you do this work, you can stand your ground. Actually, you need to stand your ground, okay? You're allowed to be soft as you do this work. If someone's being overly critical of you, stand up and stand your ground, because you are working on yourself and you are doing something that your soul needs right now. Like this, if you're feeling called to this reading and this is really resonating, it's because you're really aligned with this moment right now to work on something that you saw as a weakness, because it's time to turn it into a strength of yours. So the overall message is to question the origin of this weakness. Don't lose your joy while you're transforming it, and protect all parts of you as you integrate this. It really feels like understanding, knowing when to be open and when to stand your ground and set boundaries with certain individuals. This Two of Cups in reverse is huge for me, because I do feel like this could involve early on relationships you've had that you've kept in your life. But again, this could be internal as well. If you're speaking bad to yourself, if you're overly critical of yourself in your head, you need to set boundaries with that voice, okay? And kind of rewire that. And that might be what this whole reading is about. So it's going to be different for each person that this resonates with, but I really hope this helps. Thanks so much. If you guys ever want to book a reading, you can go to my website. I will never reach out to you asking you to book a reading with me. That's just not going to happen. There's a lot of scammers on this app that do that. Don't fall for it. You do it to a lot of the readers on here. That's all I got. Have a good day.